7:15, so we can call the meeting to order. I just need to, you tell me when we're live? We're live? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. And of course, the first thing I want to do is welcome all the student representatives here this morning and all the public. And I just think it might be useful, although none of us have good enough memories to remember all your names, but if you just would introduce yourselves, perhaps it wouldn't hurt.
I'm Roland James. I'm Daniel James.
Yeah, the twin brother. Yeah, I got that part.
I'm Colin Grant.
I'm Jacob Bothouse. Jackson Gawar.
Avery Stair, Vice President.
Ivy Sandra, Vice President.
Oakley White, I'm the president.
Okay.
Keenan.
And
Bryce Bauer, Secretary.
okay. So I'm Alan Weber, warden.
I'm Sam Lamy, Municipal Solicitor.
Erin Lowe, Deputy CAO.
Clarissa Coleman, District 2 Counselor. Tina Connors, Counselor, New Ross.
Andre Deemer, District 1 president.
Jennifer Weber, Communications.
Steve Levac, Tom Bremner, District 3, Counselor.
Sharon Church, District 7 Counselor for various home and rural area.
Emily Lennox, Executive Admin.
Abdullah Asif, Counselor, Deputy Warden for District 5, which is Martin's River Bridge to Go Over Bridge, including Beach Hill.
And Tara McGuire, I'm the CAO.
And this, we have an awful lot of staff out in the audience who will introduce themselves as they come up to speak. So anyway, good morning. Glad to see you here. It's been a while since we've been out to Forest Heights, so it's always makes it interesting. So we respectfully acknowledge that we live and work in Mi'kmaq as the steward of the ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We are all treaty people. So the approval of the agenda and order of business, and I know that I have to add one item. Hubbard Sidewalk is an in-camera item that I have to add.
Warden, I have 2 items. I'd like to make a motion and a general comment at the end.
Okay.
I believe I as well would have, in addition to the agenda regarding a grant proposal for District 2.
Okay. Yeah.
I have 2 items. First one is a letter of support request for the New Ross Housing Project, New Ross Community Care Center. And the second item for me is the New Ross Christmas Festival.
Oh, okay. Anyone else?
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. The first item on the agenda is the election of the deputy warden, and just so that everybody knows, the deputy warden is a 1-year term, and so we're at the end of it, and so we elect a new deputy warden. You're only allowed to serve 2 years at the max, and the idea is to give all of council the opportunity to serve in that capacity. So I'll call for nominations for deputy warden.
I would nominate Councilor Andre Vino.
Okay. Any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations? There are no further nominations, so I'll declare you elected. And I'd like to thank you for your service over the past year.
It was enjoyable. Thank you.
Okay. So now we're into the public input session. Does anybody wish to speak to council this morning? Yeah. Okay, come on up, state your name and civic address, and each person is limited to a maximum of 5 minutes. Each person must state their name and address. Questions or comments are to be directed to the chair. Comments are open to any municipal matter. So you have 5 minutes.
Ilona Loney, 58 New Harbor Road, Blanford.
Okay.
As you are aware, I mentioned the fact that we are experiencing a water emergency, not urgency, but emergency. We have to be clear. And again, Graves Island has the potential to have substantial relief. It was used that way in the summer. Unfortunately, it was shut down prematurely. Again, just for people here that are not familiar with it, the provincial government capping out because it's a civic responsibility according to some ancient, outdated laws. There is a potential for the Federation of Municipalities to get together and negotiate with the provincial government because health is entirely provincial territory, and the potential cost of not dealing with it preemptively now with winterizing Grave Island and other likewise measures would be a lot more than dealing with it now. The real potential public health hazard, which should be treated as an emergency, is and not dealing with it, like, for example, using the fact that now we have some rain and many wells now have been slightly functioning. That is a gambling with public health because we don't know what will happen in the winter. Most likely, those wells that we covered will be done, if not soon. If anybody understands the groundwater upper level water science, can clearly articulate why. So, gambling with public health is unacceptable. We need to deal with it as an emergency. I know the public, the council have been dealing with medium and long-term issues related to public water sources, but this emergency must be given the adequate amount of time. I request, on behalf of the public, the council will have an emergency meeting soon, dealing with this strictly as a public emergency, public health emergency. Now, I've been circulating a petition. I'm disappointed to know that some councillors did not receive a copy of it because out of courtesy, before I went to the public, I left it in the office, in the municipal office, and with understanding that all councils will be alerted to it and given a chance to see the copy.
Did you get it?
I was just talking to my councillor, he was not even aware.
Did everybody else get it? I got it. Team?
Yeah, I believe it was placed in our boxes, but we don't always get into the municipal office.
Yeah.
In fairness, right?
Yeah, so
In
I'm just
fairness.
suggesting for future
okay.
reference that such things will be given some priority so council have the notice to look at things like that, especially things that deal with emergencies. Now, one recommendation I want to make that from my experience watching the last event, there seemed to be no special time allocation for emergencies. I feel that time allocation should be, in council meeting, should be proportionate to urgency, level of urgency. An emergency should be at the top. So I'm kind of disappointed that it still hasn't been the case, and I recommend that it should be. That the council should vote on this and make a decision soon about time allocation proportionate to urgencies, and emergency should be at the top.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone,
Now, one more thing
Okay.
that I didn't mention.
You're running out of time, so.
We need to go to higher authorities in the provincial government. I have an understanding that in the last event, the three government ministers were discussing in one of the committees, discussing the matter with some members of different councils, and they didn't show any interest in dealing with it. I think we need to approach a higher authority, and it is a concerted effort by all municipalities,
Okay, thank you.
emphasizing that healthcare is their responsibility, there's no cop-out.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any questions from anyone? Okay, 6 minutes of the previous meeting, council October 30th. Errors or omissions?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Proclamations and designations, I'm not aware of any.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Can we deal with the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee motions in 5 minutes?
Maybe not. We can try.
We'll try it.
Okay, well, I'm a member of the DEI committee, as well with Councilor Coolin, and there are actually 4 motions before council here for consideration. I'm going to provide my narrative on this, and then Councilor Coolin can jump in if she sees fit. I have no issue with the first 2 motions, which are about the first one relates to cultural awareness training. And the second, as you see there, is preparing a presentation summarizing the calls to action that relates to our government. And those, I think, are pretty straightforward efforts that you might want to consider. In the meeting, I did not vote for the second group of motions, which are relating to getting art to showcase Atlantic acknowledgement, I guess, for the entrances to our municipal building, and also the final one, which was creating a version of our municipal logo that's sort of indigenous inspired. And I want to talk about that briefly. I'll start with the logo. So, you know, I have a corporate background. My corporation has a logo. We don't change the logo. The logo, that's the purpose of the logo. It becomes standardized and recognized because it's your logo. And, you know, if we are to undertake different versions of our logo in support of causes, first of all, I question, which causes should we support? How many versions of our logo should we have? In time, maybe we would have enough versions that maybe our logo will be shown less than the other versions. I don't know. I feel like this is not a path. I don't think you see the government of Nova Scotia changing its logo. I don't think you see the federal government changing its logo, and I think it's odd that we would consider changing our logo. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know what its purpose is. I don't support it. I don't think the people in my district would support it. So I will be voting against changing our logo. I think our logo should be our logo. As for I'm not sure where the other motion about the artwork at the entrances, and I'm not even sure where it's coming from. So I need further information about what exactly is driving this. Is there a request coming from somewhere? You know, at risk of being canceled, is this just what white people do to make themselves feel better? I don't know. I don't know why we're doing this, and I want some explanation before we go ahead and do something that I don't even know if it matters. I want some explanation of why we're doing it, because not every idea is a good idea, and I think we have to recognize that. And so, if somebody can tell me that this has been a request, or like they've consulted with some community group, and they said, oh yes, we'd really like to have this, I don't know why I would support this, because at this point, I've never heard anyone, ever, in the history of my life, ask for this. So, jump in, Councillor Coolin, if you wish. But those are just my feelings on it. I'm not trying to be, whatever, be perceived as negative on trying to be inclusive. Of course, we want inclusion. But I don't see how these are steps towards that in any way.
They almost
with the
separate.
logo, I just think it creates confusion.
Yeah, they almost do the opposite.
I agree with some points that Councilor Vino is making regarding the actually changing our format of our logo. No, I misinterpreted that, but I feel that there could be some representation, like on the door entrances and whatnot, regarding a Mi'kmaq label. But as far as changing our specific logo, I'm agreeing with Councilor Vino. I think that our logo is our standpoint. It's our identifier. It's who we are, and that's a representation of all of us, right?
Yeah.
Of the whole district and the whole municipality. Artwork is always beautiful. There's nothing wrong with having some beautiful artwork, in the foyers and whatnot. Should it be deckled on the door? I don't know. Should it be cloudy? Would it be too much, busyness on our doors or entrances? But, some beautiful artwork. Everyone loves to look at a piece of beautiful artwork, whether encouraged by Indigenous artists. So I'm partially for both, but as far as considering changing our logo, I'm not for it.
Can I follow up?
Yeah.
And art, I have no problem. If we were creating some piece of art, on our grounds at the municipal office somewhere, and we decided that we wanted to have some sort of statement piece from some sort of orchestra, Indigenous or not, or whatever, like that's, I'm cool. I'm actually very engaged with art. I do a little art myself. That's awesome. Great. I'm just not sure what the messaging is. I don't know where it's coming from. And as far as the logo, I was, Councillor Browner and Councillor Coolin weren't present when we went through the logo change and the effort that we went through.
Oh,
It was a long, arduous process of consultation to actually arrive at the logo, believe it or not, for those who it actually took a long time for us to develop the logo we have, and then just to flippantly decide we're going to change it. You give a contract to some person and they're just going to change it into something else.
No.
That really bugs me, and I don't have patience for it. No.
I don't know if it's going to be changed, but we want it to be adopted at some level from an artist, from the Mi'kmaq.
Well, this request is to contract an artist to change it into something else,
No,
which I guess
yeah.
we're going to use sometimes.
And I moved both of those requests, so I'm just wanting to just clarify that yes, I don't believe the logo should be changed,
Just because you move it doesn't mean you support it.
And let us see at some point.
Yeah, well, I'll just speak up. I have no interest whatsoever in changing our logo. It was designed and made to represent all people, no matter what their ethnic or diversity background was within our municipality of Chester, and it needs to remain that way. We can't keep separating ourselves into one group and another group and it just never end. But I have no clue about the other motion either, about, I don't have any problem with if somebody wants to donate Indigenous art. We put art up in our building all the time.
But this is a contract. We're paying for some art.
Well, I have I need to know a lot more about why that is myself. Yeah. So why don't we vote on these motions and start with do them one at a time. So on 469, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried.
Did we have a mover in a second?
Oh, we did not. I'm just asking. Well, I'm
I'll
sorry.
move the adoptions of
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
4, 6, the motions or the recommendations, or I guess motions, ending in 469 and 470.
Wait, it's been moved, seconded by Clarissa. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. I was getting a bit ahead of myself. Okay, is somebody prepared to
in charge of this on the wall because it's out of focus. So people are difficult
Yeah. Okay, we just,
Can you make this loud?
I don't know if we
Really
can.
loud? No.
I don't know. I don't think. Okay, what are we doing with motion 471?
No mover, no second.
No mover? Okay, motion 472, any mover, any seconder? Nope, then we have not adopted them. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now I think I'm on to the 9:30 Social Writers Club.
I guess we can only tell them to speak louder if we have to go there.
That's all we can do, yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. And I'd like to say I'm nervous.
Don't worry about it.
Just speak as loud as you can.
But I'd like to just, Board and Weber councilors and guests and students and Chad Long. My name is Nancy Wenzel. I'm president of Shore Writers ATV Association. And I've been involved in the sport of ATV and riding for almost 40 years. I've been very active in the association. I was president of Central Nova. I was zone director for the province on the southern end. I also was executive in ATVANS, that's All-Terrain Vehicle Association of Nova Scotia, for close to 15 years. I was involved in the youth training program, and now I'm president of Shore Riders and stepped back from several trail associations that I was involved in over the years. And I just want to give a little insight about what our sport offers communities and areas around, and the economic spin-off that helps the businesses and the areas and the communities. We appreciate the support that the Municipality of Chester has given us. The support that Chad Hahn has given us over the years was tremendous and helped us significantly. We're growing in membership, which is very nice because membership means education. And I'm very big in that, and training for safety, and our motto is where the fun begins, and that's just what our association is about. Once a year, we do have a fundraiser, and only once a year, it's called the Fish and Chip Rally. And that is one of the largest at one time in Eastern Canada, definitely the Maritime provinces. The largest one we had was 1,000 participants registered. We had over 1,400 people go through the canteen area. And last year, ever since COVID and things has changed with COVID and the bridge, it really affected us. So we were down to 551 participants. No, sorry, registered. But with side-by-sides, that usually doubles in people. So we had over 1,000 go through the canteen area.
It's a lot of fish and chips.
I just wanted to give a little insight of at my travel experiences and some of our members. We traveled across Newfoundland several times on our ATVs. This year we have another 14 booked to go for 16 days. And so we support that area quite well. We also did venture to Sussex this year for 6-7 days, and in which some of their trails had a few issues with the width of the gates, so we're hesitant to go back there again. However, Sussex is OHV friendly, totally. We could go down the streets, we could go to the restaurants, we could go to the shops. We also, we visited Cape Breton, Maboo, Inverness. We've done a week down there, Egg Mountain, awesome places on the trails. We've done this year again, Tattawagush, number 16, a couple that are back out, and we stayed 5 days exploring around their areas, which is all OHV friendly. Oxford's Pictou is open now to OHVs. These are marked trails, by the way. They're side of the roads, okay? There you go where the trails are marked. Liverpool had the second hearing yesterday, I do believe, and it's approved that we'll soon have full connectivity from Bridgewater to Liverpool, and we're just about there to Shelburne, and Yarmouth is open as well. So the group is preparing after Christmas, and we'll do a 3-4 day stay through Liverpool, up through the Yarmouth, and as far as we know, DB is just not quite ready yet. Connectivity is getting there. The one thing I wanted to mention here is we have a real problem with gates in our area, which we're working on. Chad is working diligently with it, and we're trying to get, actually most of these areas that we go to, they just open the gates now, swing them back, and lock them. Okay, the gate width is totally open to...
When you're having your big rides?
No,
No, okay.
always.
Okay.
The other areas.
Areas are removed.
The other areas of the province.
I'll let
Okay.
Steve, my vice president, he might use that truck chair, go chair. That's a lot. Go ahead.
So as Nancy mentioned, we rode 3 couples from Martin's River Bridge right to Hubbard's, which is roughly 35K, and 99 barriers, which staggered me because I've run that. I've never counted, never stopped, never measured. Out of those 99, we encountered some that were cut, lots cut off, just spun around. Some rocks have been slid by whatever means. Not sure who, why. Probably destruction, possibly, don't know. Same as we do encounter barriers that are narrow by whomever for whatever reason. Out of the 99 we measured, and hopeful that the 74 inches plus is adhered to, which again, Chad has been working diligently with contractors on everyone's behalf. We did measure 34 that were less than 74. It's a huge, how do I say, driver to the economy, the ATV and off-road community. I believe it's in around between 60,000 and 70,000 registered machines in the province that bands has told us. And with that comes a lot of economy. The machines, just like our vehicles, are getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
No doubt
Hence
about it.
the change in the legislation and the width. Because when someone pays 50,000 or more for a machine, they don't like to stuff the sides out. We do stuff it our own in the woods, rocks, whatever it be. But if multi-use shared trails can be improved, I guess it's the word, or whatever it be, it would be a huge advantage to not only us, riders, but when we meet, and Nancy has a slogan, hoofs and heels and 4 wheels, so that we can respect the bicyclists, the horse riders, the walkers. And we're very proud of that when we do meet them, down goes the speed, sometimes we stop, they come before us. And that little bit of tidbit leads me into the fact that very appreciative of the East River side and those bridges that have been repaired, rebuilt since the floods a couple of years ago. And Gold River Bridge, if we can get it that same width, would be massive, because that's a long bridge. Sight line is not entirely great, that we can see who's on there and not necessarily have to wait. Maybe there's enough room for all of us.
So, most of our trails that we work on, because we don't have the letter of authority for the bandit trail line, but our trails are off-road trails. Okay, we have one landowner that gives us a land use agreement of almost 10,000 acres. Another one is quite substantial as well, and the rest are smaller ones. But however, our funding that we raise for fish and chip rally goes on those trails. And what we do, the multi-use trails, there are a lot of bikers, walkers, whatever on the trails, and that's where our funding is focused on. We provide any landowner that signs a land use agreement, we repair and work on the trail, okay? Anyone that doesn't, we're not allowed on it. So we're gradually gathering that they understand. We also cover the insurance for it. So that's a huge reason why it's good for landowners to sign up, and they can revoke it at any given time. They're not obligated to keep that. Again, there's always the abusers, okay? The more of the better ones on the trails, the less the abusers go. I've been a citizen on patrol on road, off-road for years. I didn't recertify right now, but we still practice it. And when they see us coming, they slow down and they whatever. And you want more of the good people on these trails and accessibility to them than what you want of the other ones. It's always going to be those. Enforcement we encourage constantly. So, and signage and whatever. So, some of the trails we did, like the adventure trails and some of the other ones that I was executive on, we removed the barriers altogether. We kept the post up that the actual gate went down, and that's what we used as signage for. Because they're solid, nobody's gonna take them out. But we still use them to make sure that, you know, to be well prepared, to be cautious. So I'd like to appreciate the time you've taken to hear us and to see what we do, and your support of the grants every year is more than welcome. And this year, our rally is going out of the Western Shore region again, and this year, they're going to put a breakfast on for their fundraiser. Any fundraiser that anyone does during our rally is their fundraiser. We take
They take money, yeah.
So it's very important that we support the community, the areas. Oak Island Inn is already up and we're advertising for them. They're putting on their rally rate, and every year they're booked for 2 nights. And the other areas, the restaurants and things like that.
Councilor Brino, you got a question or a comment?
No, please.
One other thing I can add is our clubhouse is at the Chester Basin League. Unfortunately, because of COVID and other reasons, we've not been able to hold our rally on this side of that bridge because, as Nancy,
You can't get across the bridge.
most of our trails that are up in the woods are accessible from that point.
Yeah.
So, because of that, last year we finally were able to get another venue, and this year the 2 legions are working together
Yeah.
out of the Western Shore.
But we still support the Chester Basin Legion.
I know.
Okay. Also, I'd just like to mention that all our permits get in order. We're in DNR, and the SCMP work with us very much.
Okay, Andre?
Thanks for coming in. I think it's the first time maybe we've seen you. You're a well-organized group, though. I just want to be clear, is your request today for us to consider removing the gates? Is that, it's not clear what, is this an update, or are you actually making a request?
Both. We would love to see the gates open, that I can actually announce to people when they call the PFAs, that people from New Brunswick and different areas are saying, can I reach from point A to point B comfortably? That I'd be able to say yes. That I'm not running down the trail to check to see if they can get through with the size of their width or whatever. I just, like all the other groups, because when I tell them, I say, once you get home, Dave, if you want to stay overnight in the chalets or whatever, you can leave and go to Bridgeport. We can go up to New Germany Way and show them some different, no gates. No gates in the back. No gates in most of the province. Right now, that's going to be removed. Tadman Bush is going to be removed because the Sunrise Trail is totally open as well as like the Adventure Trail. This is one of our major barriers for gates.
Yeah, I just wondered if Chad wanted to respond to. Because they said they were working with you, and I'm not sure really 100% what that all means.
Oh, yeah, sure. So, we did receive correspondence from the province through DNR last spring. And so they have made some adjustments in terms of the minimum widths. And so, so the minimum widths that are set right now are there's supposed to be 74 inches by the year 2028 was the goal in the letter for that to happen across the province. So that ATV users would have an expectation when they go to an area that they know that those gates are going to be at least at that minimum 74 inches, so that you don't arrive into an area where they're narrow and you run into problems, you can't get through your damaged machines and that type of thing. So we had our contractor go through our trail in the spring, and they were supposed to be
Identified.
set at 74 inches. So we really appreciate the efforts of them going out and actually measuring all of our gates and widths. And so what we would obviously be interested in doing is to, at minimum, would be to make sure all of our
They're at least
gates
74.
are at that 74 inch level. So I think we do need to have probably a broader discussion perhaps with council around the idea of removing, like completely removing or opening up the gates. I think, yeah, we definitely need to have some discussions with that, because we do have requests from especially property owners that if they have a driveway or road that intersects the trail, that the concern is just the safety at those intersections.
I know,
and how-
yeah,
and how
I
we
hear
manage
that too.
And when they bring gates and barriers, provide a little bit of traffic calming. But obviously there's lots of examples that these guys are seeing in other areas of the province and other provinces. Where they've taken a different approach, and so we need to figure out
What the best
approach, what we'd like to do for
Yeah, Tina had her hand up first, so.
Thanks, Chad. Thank you for being here today. I think it was a bit of an eye-opener for all of us, and I know that Councillor Asif and I have always talked about the economic impact of the motorized world, right, in terms of our trails. So I appreciated also your reference to, first off, I'm open for business, absolutely, right? So in terms of what you're talking, it's not a new story really for me to hear. My ears perked up when you mentioned about the private landowners that you work with and the expanse of the language. That's amazing. I would like to continue that discussion after this at some point down the road. That's okay. But the letter of use or the MOU that you have with them, I think that's phenomenal. Good on you, right? Good on you as an association and those private landowners. Very similar to what we're doing, if you will, in New Ross, because there are no municipal trails yet in New Ross. So the trails that we do have are community trails, and for the most part, except for a short little section of 500 meters between the school and up to the Forties Road, they're all open for business for all use, because that's what we need to be about, right? So I appreciated that reference there, and I think too, here at council, I know, and I appreciate the investment that we put into our Chester Connection Trail. Like I know, the millions of dollars that we put in there since the ribbon was cut 30, 40 years ago, whenever it was. But I think also too, people forget sometimes that the monies that we are able to leverage, similar to you as a trail association, us as a municipal unit, the off-highway vehicle fund, and that money is coming from the motorized vehicles. It's not coming from walkers, it's not coming from people on a bicycle, people on a horse. It's coming from your registrations. And we've tapped into that immensely, I would assume. I haven't checked into it recently, but I remember being at some announcements, and the provincial piece was that off-highway vehicle fund. So that's from you, not from me walking, right? And I also just want to mention, great job on the whole education and being proactive and getting in front of it in terms of increased responsible use is a better story for all of us today and as well as down the road. But that's all. So thanks.
Thank you. The funding on OHV, the off-highway vehicle funding, also comes from Sands and Sonora.
Yep.
A certain amount, but the major proportion is from.
I don't know Sonora. I know Sands.
Let's see. It's the dirt bikes.
Okay, the dirt
but like I'm getting blind.
That's okay.
But,
That's okay.
Anyway, Off-Riders Association. Yeah.
It's Off-Ride Roaders Association.
But and see, we don't experience Sands, the Snowmobile Association, as much because we don't have the snow.
So we do.
But we do, right, but you do, and we have the gentleman's agreement with the Valley one for the terms of when we can ride and when we can't ride. Okay, but yes, we do put a lot into it, and over the years, I've been on 6 different associations, executive of 5. So at the same time, and so we were involved with a lot of the different trails and stuff, and seeing the difference of when we open the accessibilities to restaurants, everybody's not carrying 2 cans of gas with them because of course machines are getting bigger today. And so we know we can go to a gas station. The one thing we would like to see is when we do get things open is more signage saying, okay, you got one on yours is Trail Burger and the Gold Bean right now, but we want to see more, have the ability to have funding, especially, it's not right now, but come the time for a road into the town, like you say, to the border site, you wouldn't believe the people that would make an effort from Halifax just to spend, to come down, do the night, be able to go to, like the Kiwi and the different places, and experience your culture is beautiful.
Okay, I hate to do it, but we have so much on the agenda, and we have 2 more people who wish to speak, so on. Yeah, you could.
I'll just say, thank you. We might all make it official and just ask for a staff report to review what it would take to open the gates. I presume it's there for.
And what the issues would be,
There could be other risks, I don't know, so let's get a little report, see what's what, and via motion or otherwise, however we want to do it.
Oh, no, Abdullah was next.
Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you for your presentation. The subject is near and dear to me with ATVs. And I think the major problem here is that when they wrote the legislation, the OHV at the off-highway vehicle, government didn't envision 60s, 80-inch machines. And I'm a firm believer, and have been for years, that the legislation should be changed to have these vehicles. It's such an economic spin-off. If I know that I could drive my machine down Swinnermer Road in Western Shore and go to the Isle View Canteen, but legally I can't. Now that's a matter for another day. But my biggest concern is I have calls all the time from people that buy ATVs, I know a guy that spent $60,000 on his, and he struck his, Chad knows who I'm talking about, struck his wheel and damaged it. And there's an answer. The answer, and we have a lot of crossings with houses that have to come. So there's got to be a way, whether it be, putting speed bumps in. I'm not an engineer, but there's got to be something better than the gate. The gate is not working, obviously, or the rocks aren't working because they're moving them. Now, some move them for wider, some move them for less. And we all know that, it's not a secret. So, I just feel like they've done this everywhere with the snowmobiles in Newfoundland and places. We're so far behind the 8 ball here. We're losing so much economic. If you knew that you lived in Tantallon and could drive to Bridgewater and could access restaurants, maybe not right in town, because that's the deal, but if you're allowed to go to the Isle View or whatever.
Are you seconding the motion?
Yeah, are you seconding the motion? Because we got to get moving along.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
Okay.
How's that?
For a staff report. Did you want to say something on the motion?
Actually, Councilor Asif stole my thunder. Very quickly, the bollards and the gates were put up so long ago. Machines that you referred many times are wider. As long as property owners, adjacent property owners, are in the forefront of all these conversations moving forward, I agree that they can come down. Only you have to understand, this is my backyard. I own the property, so those gates, I live in Hubbard, so from Hubbard to East River, you know how many gates and bollards are there. But they're full-time residents, so that has to be in the forefront, is to having this conversation.
I do respect that.
I'm sorry, but I can't let you speak when there's I can't let you speak when there's a motion on the floor.
Thank you so much.
I'm not allowed.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Any further discussion on the motion to get a staff report? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Falcon Fun Day request. We're running possibly a little late. Yes, we
I
are.
won't take too long, don't worry. Whoever's here going to hand out the letter we have. So, thank you for having us here today. Just want to just start by saying that, and I'll introduce myself again. I'm Oakley Webb. I'm the president here of our student council at Forest Heights. This one is recommended because that's right back there. So today, I'd like to introduce you to a legacy project we want to initiate here at Forest Heights. It's called Welcome Fun Day, and it would be like an interactive experience for every student here at Forest Heights and would increase everyone's participation and overall morale. And we would like to invite you to bring this project to life. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is why we want to do this. So we see many benefits through events like this. We know that it improves academic performance, and there's a higher attendance when we have events like this, and stronger resilience in our youth at our school. The event would be mainly team-based and inclusive, so everyone could participate, and it would help improve our relationship between all the students at our school. And by supporting us, you'd be directly helping students here their mental and physical health. So we plan to achieve this through a variety of fun and engaging activities that would include some inflatable obstacle courses and bouncy castles, team competitions, so we could get together in groups, compete against each other for prizes, which would help make it more fun, and creative and social stations that would be more laid back or more relaxing activities. So for those who don't want competition, we can still include them, having more just social events that they can just have fun and relax for the day. So supporting Welcome Fun Day, it would help improve the relationship between the school and community as well, because it would show that council is invested in our youth, in our municipality, and it would give opportunity for organizations and local businesses to collaborate with the school, so it would increase involvement with the community and keep everything connected, and it would help increase engagement in our municipality. So that would further strengthen the ties of everything in the whole community. However, many families in our municipality, we know, can't necessarily afford the costs to host an event like this, because renting some of these things and all the prizes and stuff involved would be very expensive, so that's where we want your help. So the estimated costs for this event includes things like the rentals, supplies, safety equipment, sound and music services, and prizes. So with your help, we could potentially make this a yearly tradition that students could look forward to every year, and it would reflect the commitment that you guys have for our youth. So what we're asking for is $2,500 to enable us to host this event this year and hopefully set it for an example for future years as well. So thank you for having us today, and hope you can see the benefits of this event. And thank you for supporting us.
Okay, I think I understand the benefits of the event, I guess, and the $2,500, but are you doing any fundraising? Are you?
Yes, we already have a grant for $1,000 for it, and
From?
When I was at SAC, right? So the School Advisory Council.
Okay.
And we have been doing numerous bake sales. Lots of the money that we have been fundraising is being delegated to this event. We just need some additional funding as well.
Okay. It's important for us to know that you're making some effort on your own to do this sort of thing. Yeah. Anyone else, any questions?
You said this was an annual event. You're looking like a springtime type of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Towards the end here in like May.
Yeah.
So have they filled out a specific grant application, Jed? No? Is there a specific one for this, or are we looking at something outside the box?
Depends on council.
Oh, okay, I know, we do things outside the box. Andre?
So this is gonna be an annual event, so how long you're renting stuff and making the prizes and stuff? How long is this $2,500 gonna go?
Well, I'm not too certain on that, but we're hoping it will at least last for, obviously this year will last, and then hopefully for like 1 or 2 years after this. And if not, it can at least set a baseline for us to then initiate the starting process, so then if further years pass, we can help already have a baseline of what we need and then have a goal for our fundraisers.
Yeah, well, we don't wanna, probably, I shouldn't speak on behalf of all council, but we probably won't wanna be in a situation where this becomes an annual tradition.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So you're just asking for the 1-year event, and we'll see where we get our next year, yeah.
And what is your total budget? You say you got $1,000, so what's the total budget for this whole project?
Like around 3,500.
post office. Or,
Well, that's because that's all the money they have if we give them 2,500.
So if we gave you what you're asking is, you're done.
Yeah.
Look. Mhm. Okay.
And you're gonna continue having big sales, so that would just
Yes,
be.
absolutely.
That would help you
More money in the
move on
reserve.
to next year's
More
fund.
money in the reserve.
exactly. The more that we can collect and buy this year will help future years. This startup year is going to be most costly, but
Initially buying, yeah, your props and whatnot, you want to buy them every year, you just
So
have to.
I don't know if any of you are familiar with Keyback Day, but Parkview Education Center holds a day like this, and we want to follow in their footsteps.
Theirs is a fundraiser, so it's like a $20 admission, but we want to encourage this like cost-free for the students. Because we know like
A lot can't afford to do it. Yes, Tina?
I'm in support of the request for the discussion today. I think we just have to land on the figure, I guess, and where it's
20%.
gonna be pulled from, whether it's the district council grants or somewhere.
We'll just take it out of the
But
pot.
also too, I would just maybe, look at who graduating this year. Okay, so maybe the vice president, if I could get a name, I would reach out to next year, because what I'll do is just put a little bug in your ear, whoever that might be, that you would be an eligible applicant to our annual operating grant. And that is an annual intake, the end of April, Jen? April 30th. So groups, festivals and events, organizations, they apply to us, whether it be a New Ross Christmas Festival or Chester Village Christmas Festival or anything. So you would be an eligible applicant, so I would work with you on that if you want to pursue that next year and going forward. Just as an idea, but I think it's a good idea you coming in here and presenting to us as council. We typically try to come back in November, so having you in front of us is good too. So again, way too much information, I'm sure.
Yeah. You want to make a motion to give them 2,500?
Absolutely.
I'll second that motion.
Put forward the motion.
Moved and seconded. This comes out of, we'll find the right spot.
Figure it out.
Well, calm down, we don't want it too easy. Where is it gonna come from?
We'll have to look.
Well, I mean, we have,
We would have to look and see what, I think the last time it came out of district grants.
Yeah, the only grant stream that's currently available for this current fiscal year is the district grants.
As opposed to next year, they could apply for the,
yeah, well, I'm happy to throw my share in
Well, I
here.
guess we have.
Sharon's got a lot of capacity.
Yeah.
She wants to-
Well, I think that we all should share in it, so, I mean, I'm willing to take it over to the district.
I am
but
too.
think we all
I just,
should.
I need to take a quick look at where I'm at financially. You know,
When are they when was the event happening?
We're
We-
looking to have it in May.
So we could come back on the December 11th agenda with.
And tell us where the money's
Well,
coming
why don't you get that operation, if you're gonna have it in May, why don't you get that operating
Yeah.
grant put together?
Yeah.
So we actually go through official channels, we don't have to.
Is there still time for them to make, to the,
It would be very close because of the grant deadline is the end of April, and then it would be into May, depending on the council schedule, before council would be able to review it, so depending on the timing of their agenda, it would be very close.
you could work with them and get that done, I think.
Yeah, we-
Chad
now
could.
we're talking.
Yeah.
We do have that.
Okay, well, I mean, they don't care where it comes from, it's just so much that they get it. Okay, so we can remove the motion.
The district grant contribution. Okay.
Have them fill out an operating grant, we can give them some sort of assurance that if they fill it out, they have
You'll
a
get
high
the money.
likelihood of success. You gotta do the work to put that grant application together.
Okay?
So, no, sorry, I just need to know, so that's gonna be okay for booking the equipment, the bouncy castle, and all of that? Because we wouldn't want that to be jeopardized.
No, well, I think
it's a bounce.
I think
Well,
from
not
what I
bouncy
can tell
castle.
around this table, as long as they fill it out, they're gonna get it.
So it becomes up to them.
Yeah, they just have to fill it out. Make the application.
So do you need help filling up the grant? Or is it something that-
Chad and Jody,
Chad
yeah, they'll help them.
And are you
Because I was
guys
just
fine
gonna
with
say, I was
that?
dedicating it to
I'll
Jen.
make it
They'll
to
be
you.
okay.
Yeah, you're okay with it, sure. Okay, let's move on.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
should be back.
What do I have done and what don't I have done?
Yeah.
Okay, 8.2 I think I'm on.
Thank you, Warden Weber. Just as a sidetrack, I want to thank Warden for his year of leadership, and I'll look forward to working with our new deputy. It's going to be an interesting year moving forward and see how that all unfolds. And on behalf of Councilor Coolin and myself, we are on the Fire Advisory Committee. They had a meeting on November 19th at the Chester Council Chambers with their participants mostly there. There were some areas not represented, but there were two main discussions. One was on recruitment, which there's a very well-organized commitment by the fire departments to work on that challenge of recruiting new membership and making sure they're healthy and doing things, and they've got lots of thoughts. So I encourage the community to follow up with your local fire departments. If you're interested, reach out to them and offer what you can and work with them. But it's a very good initiative to build for the future. The main discussion that happened at that meeting is the revisiting of the water rescue, which started as an ocean concern first, which is now combined into an overall regional water rescue team approach, which would deal with swift water. We know we've had some floods and some real challenges, as well as a second phase, they want to get into the ocean part of it. There's a very in-depth package that was presented to you when time matters. There's a picture there of our local group that have all been trained and worked together and can be called in together mutually aid-wise. There's a very good description of the process, the levels of training, the commitment of the first stage, the equipment, much of it. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going through it because it would get into the weeds and everybody would have different view. It's there and you can have the opportunity to look at it, and hopefully you have. What came out of that meeting and discussion was a recommendation from them to council, and I will read it for your consideration. It's on the screen in front of you. The Fire Advisory Committee, FAC, recommends that the Municipality of Chester provides administrative and financial support to complete an application for funding under the Provincial Regional Emergency Services Provider Fund to develop and start up a regional water rescue team serving the entire municipality. As presented for Phase 1, the FAC is requesting the municipality provide an initial startup capital contribution of $57,000 and an ongoing annual operational funding of $40,000. That was moved by Chief and seconded by the Vice Chair of the committee. You have it in front of you. As I say, that was a recommendation to council. So it's now up for your discussion or your thought or what you want to move forward with.
Yeah, I've had some calls from some of the firemen myself.
Yes, so have I.
And the most critical part of this is that the application to receive the federal or provincial funding?
It is provincial.
Provincial funding, the deadline is December 1st.
That is correct.
So we don't have time to debate it no.
That is their big concern. They would love to, they don't want to miss this opportunity. The grant application they're going for, correctly, the WCAO, I think it's $200,000.
It is, yeah.
That would come into the municipality for this program if accepted by the persons in the province that are reviewing the whole process.
And council has to buy in or else they are not eligible for the $200,000.
Absolutely, and they have spoken to the committee. They're being encouraged to apply. And I think it serves the growth of our fire services in the municipality and the changing times we're going through.
Yeah, and I'll just say one other thing, because I did mention this to my own fire department people. I understand the necessity for it. I mean, the municipality has to have somebody prepared to help us rescue people in these times of emergencies. So, like the $57,000 one-shot deal is less of a concern to me than the $40,000 annually. And what I did tell them is that, yeah, I know we got to sign on for saying that in the application, but I can easily see where council is going to, if we go down that road, is going to want to negotiate with all the fire commissions over how that's funded moving forward. And then the other part that makes it even more complex is that we all know that the province is changing the rules and regulations around fire services anyway, so we don't really know what that means to us moving forward. So the one-shot deal is more simple to me than the long-term piece because we don't understand what that might mean to us. Andre?
I have no problem with this. We're coastal people. We need to be prepared to respond to emergencies that from water, inland or otherwise. So that's not an issue. I think there's going to be a whole lot of details that will flow from this. That I can foresee some. I can see political strife amongst the departments. Where is this equipment going to be housed? How is the budgeting going to be done? I think due to time constraints, I think we have
no choice.
I think we have got an opportunity here that we should seize, of course. And I'll move that we provide the funding. But we need to quickly act to try to get some sort of semblance of an agreement from these departments that historically haven't always worked the best together or shared resources as well as maybe they could have. And we're aware that this is a challenge, it's difficult, and we're talking in phase 2 about maybe having a boat and all this stuff, which we just decommissioned the boat only less than a year ago now. So, I think we need it for all the aforementioned reasons, but I mean, I just don't know. The administration of this is going to be challenging, depending on what the province comes out with. If the governance over all the departments ends up being consolidated, then that may help us a lot, but who knows? We haven't seen that.
There's a lot of unknowns.
So there's my motion to provide the funding so that we can make application for this grant, and then I guess we'll
look after the rest later. Do we have a seconder?
Tom.
I need a seconder before we do anything else.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Now, Tom, if you want to speak.
Yeah, thank you. I had prepared a motion for this discussion because I felt that's where we were going to go, and I appreciate where this is all coming from, because if you read carefully, there is a phase 2, which is going to be more money in the time to come. I have had numbers fired at me that I'm just not going to repeat. I mean, we don't know for sure. The most important is the first stage.
And
that
the deadline.
in. I want to make sure in this motion that it's contingent upon the fire commissions and the Chester Fire Services Committee to an agreed upon level of financial support prior to any agreement with the province being extended to them. So if we get the money, then we have to sit down with them and come up with some kind of an agreement amongst them to make sure, as Councilor Dino as well said, not always the most cohesive group in times, challenge. We need them to come together.
I agree totally, but our motion cannot be hinged on
Okay,
further.
just want to make sure we understand.
Yeah, but I think we all understand that we're going to have bigger discussions, because how does it all look 2 years from now,
I'd like to ask a question. So exactly how much money is the motion for?
57,000 and 40,000 annually.
Obviously, and the 40,000 annually.
Yes, in the first, that's if they even get the grant.
No, it's 57,000. We crossed the bridge on the remaining funds.
I just want to be clear.
We'll have an opportunity to discuss that.
Yeah.
And I think these discussions with the fire department will govern how far we go down the road. But if we want to apply and receive funding from the province, we need to make this commitment of $57,000.
I think we need to do more than that, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a commitment.
The
partnership with the commission, and that is more of the ongoing, more the
So we have to sign into committing to a partnership, but we don't have to give them the details of it. No, that's it.
So through the chair. So for staff here. So are we required to then sign some sort of contract then for the ongoing 40?
We have to sign an application through the 200,000.
Okay.
And there's a section in there which says that we agree to
some foggy idea.
But
That sounds pretty non-committal to me.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Don't have to do it.
so it's 57 and we'll see.
Committed
about
to
the
make it
rest.
moving
Yeah,
forward.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Are we all good?
Love it.
Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. What time of the day is it, people?
Recess.
Recess?
Yeah.
Going.
Time for a
Keep
deep
going.
break.
Yeah, let's take a 10-minute break or 15-minute break or whatever.
Started now.
I
Yeah.
drank a lot of coffee.
We're on break. One way or the other.
We're on recess, so he's going.
Yeah, it's recess.
You should come here to do it more often, huh?
Yeah,
The bell told us it's time to
Bell
leave.
tells us when it's time to
Well,
break.
any complaints, because I like the agenda. So,
Ah,